Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Locke. I'm the IBPA Director of Membership and Member Services, and we are very excited to have you all here today. This is the Get to Know Your Member Benefits webinar series, and we want to give you all a more in-depth look at all of your benefits. Today, I'm excited to say we are highlighting Bowker. All right, so I am happy to welcome Bowker's Director of Sales and Business Development, Mary Carlo Magno. Hello, how are you, Mary?
I'm great today. Thanks for having me, Chris. It's really
Awesome.
great to be with you all.
I'm going to disappear, and if you have any questions or need any help, I'm just behind the scenes.
Okay, so our agenda today is Book2Look. I'm going to touch on some of the other services we offer here and then leave plenty of time for question and answer. And as Chris said, and I said, let's try to hold those to the end if possible. And if I'm doing my job correctly today, I hope to get all of those answered in the body of what I'm talking about today, my presentation. Okay, so you should all know this is like some people say save the best for last, but I think we've saved the best for first this time. As a member of IBPA, you do receive 15% off all products except for author homepage, which we'll talk about later. And that's all available online through the myidentifiers.com page. You will be getting a copy of this presentation. It'll be accessible to you. Feel free to take notes, but also know that you'll be able to receive this. So if you want to have more information or take notes, that's up to you. This member discount does not include bulk purchases of Book2Look. So, as you may or may not know, Bowker is the ISBN agency for the US and its territories. We also cover Australia. We have a group of people that are on the phones in the US and always on email. And yes, they're real live people. They speak to us on a daily basis. They speak to all of the people calling in, usually from our self-publisher side, that want more information about the ISBNs, how to get books more discoverable, and the line of products that we sell. This agency was born out of the idea that most people who called us up would say things like, I wrote a book, and now what do I do? So in answer to that call, Bowker came up with a group of services that really mimic what a larger publisher would do. So anything from copyright protection, cover design, author homepage. We have a company that does editorial production and translation. We do ebook and audio distribution, ebook conversion. We have a company that'll help you publicize your book. There's a social media consultation package for you. And of course, Book2Look, which is really the focus of what we're going to be talking about today. So my job started a year ago. So as a part of the ISBN agency and the self-publisher side, what we began to notice here at Bowker was that some of the products that we're selling to self-publishers also make very good sense for traditional publishers. So my target is companies that publish generally, more than 10 titles a year, companies or publishers that are really in the business of publishing. The myidentifiers.com page that I mentioned earlier is really for the self-publishing world. What my job is to do is to choose existing programs that make sense for those publishers, develop preferred prices and packaging for them, and also to find new companies and opportunities for publishers. So to really listen to what publishers are saying and what they need. And in this, world of ever-changing technology, listening is really incumbent on us to find out what are the next things that publishers will be looking for to be successful in the publishing space. So everyone loves Book2Look, just like everyone loves a golden retriever puppy. It's the program that makes sense for all publishers. So that's where we'll really spend most of our time today and dig in. I am a bookseller by trade. I worked at Barnes & Noble for 8 years. Our motto at Barnes & Noble was to put the buck in the customer's hands. With our product called Book2Look, that is the mission and motivation, to put the book in the customer's hands in the digital landscape. The origin story, everyone has an origin story. So Book2Look was created by a publisher in Germany. He was a Macmillan children's publisher, and he was looking for a way to hand sell his titles online. So he wanted to show interiors of his book, all the great 4-color illustrations. And he didn't have a way to do that. There wasn't a tool for him to do that. And this was in 2008. So he created Book2Look to do just that, to enable readers to come online and sample parts of the book prior to purchasing. And we have the research to back it up. So Nielsen, our UK partner, they're actually the ISBN agency for the UK. And just as a side note, they sell Book2Look on that side of the pond. So Nielsen shows that the option to look inside a book before purchase is among the top deciding factors after author, topic, genre, and price. So as I mentioned, Bowker here is the US distributor for Book2Look. We started last year with a pilot program. Nielsen started around the same time in the UK. Book2Look is a global company. It has over 200 million views, so it is in almost every European country, especially where English language books are sold. In the US here, we have 400 publishers using Book2Look. We deal with university presses, top 5 publishers, small and independent publishers just like you. So it really runs the gamut. And of course, the self-publishers who will come online through my identifiers to find the product for a single title. Perhaps a self-publisher will want to do a Book2Look for just a single title. Book2Look, if you're not familiar, it is an online sampler. It's a flowable reader. It has 3 major components. So you might be familiar with some other e-tailers that have a sampler, a look inside feature, a widget. These are all common terms. We have a special program because it's really 3 major things. First is the publisher version, which really takes your social media to another level. And that's really what we're going to spend time looking at, the features of the publisher version today. The second is the community version or the retailer version, which is used by our retail partners. Independent booksellers might use it for their storefronts digitally. It's often used by bloggers. It's often used by authors. So there's 2 different versions of what we call the widget or biblet. And the third part of this, which is far different than any other look inside technology out there today, are the deep analytics that we provide for you. The ability to see where your readers are accessing your books, how long they're spending with it. Those are the kinds of analytics that we offer through a very beautiful publisher dashboard. It really sets us apart. So publisher websites and social media, I wouldn't be really responsible if I did a presentation without showing a graph. So here's your requisite graph for today. So Book2Look sits in the middle of all of these different ideas. So the sample pages, the social media, the ability to add video and audio clips, the book cover, shop links, and of course, the price. So this Book2Look, by unifying through attachment to the ISBN, enables all of these things to populate your Book2Look, or what we like to say, add DNA to the Book2Look. So we call them biblets. With Book2Look, you can share book excerpts, videos, audio clips, and reviews, enabling readers to sample the book before purchasing. And as I mentioned, as a publisher, you get a dashboard tracking biblet performance, including key metrics such as page views, click-throughs, and time spent in biblets. There's also a wonderful reporting feature off of the dashboard. I'll show you a slide of that later, so you have an idea what that looks like. It's very intuitive and very easy to use. Most publishers have been really happy with their ability to have these metrics so quickly. We have metrics that you can get from yesterday. So that's how accurate and up to date they are. So the unique features of the biblet. So it's for an ISBN in all formats. So when you have your ISBN with a biblet, it will be for your ebook, for your audiobook, for your paperback, your hardcover, whatever formats you have will link to one ISBN. Publishers maintain control of the biblets. So I deal with a lot of larger publishers that will do like a group or bulk upload through Onyx, and bring all of their titles over in one delivery. However, publishers are given access to that publisher dashboard, which allows you to do things like segment out certain parts of the book that you might want to show. Make a biblet inactive if you choose to do that. Change a book cover, update a review, add an audio clip. So there is a manual aspect of the dashboard that's really in the publisher's hands. The publisher is able to do that. And we also have audio biblets too. You'll see those on bookshop.org. So as I mentioned earlier, there are two distinct versions of the biblet, the publisher version, which has all of the features, and the community version, or we call it the community version or the retailer version, that's really used by retailers. And you'll see the retailer will be a little bit different because they're going to want to drive traffic to their shop links. A publisher might want to choose a variety of shop links. So this is what a biblet looks like. We're using Chain Gang All Stars here at Penguin Random House book. On the front of it, you see the branding for Penguin Random House, the book cover, and down below, so there's a couple of places I'm going to take you to through this. The first is going to be where the social media is. These are the social media clicks that Penguin Random House has selected for their books. Down below, you're going to see a little shopping cart, and that's where the shop links live. Over here to the top left are special features that we add, and I'll take you through each feature. As I mentioned to Chris earlier, this is a program with a lot of technology. It's very intuitive. It's very turnkey, but it does give you the ability to customize it. So I thought I would just go slowly through a couple of the main features of the publisher biblet, just to show you what can be done. So the first feature we're going to look at is what the actual biblet looks like inside. It's a left to right read. It's a flowable page. It looks like the book. It reads like a book. Generally, publishers will do an industry standard 10% of the book, which is great. If you're John Irving, that's 90 pages because his books are 900 pages. So that's a great value biblet for you. People have read the 90 pages of his biblet, which I find super fun. This is what it looks like. You could do a one-page spread if you like. For 4-color and illustrated books, a lot of the authors are choosing select pages to show. And we have a thumbnail ability to show certain pages in page layout. That's another feature of Book2Look. So we can customize this to however you would like it to be customized. If you want to show 5, 10, 15, 20%, but industry standard is 10%. So we come back to the main biblet page. This is what opens up for you. And down here, we have the social media links. So with Book2Look, publishers can add their own social media buttons. Okay, so we have X, we have Facebook, we have Pinterest. You can recommend through email. Book2Look on your phone will be WhatsApp or SMS text. We don't have Instagram as a shareable link because Instagram does not allow an API-driven sharing, but you can share on Instagram. It's just a cut and paste feature. And these buttons can be customized and appear on the bottom of the opening of the biblet. So when you open it up, it comes up like this. So if you see slightly behind it, there's the place that we would click. And then this is where you would immediately share. It comes up as a light box right onto the biblet. So it's not sending you off to go back. And that's where the social media page would be shared. So those are shop links. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go back one more if I could. I need just to go back. Hold on one second. I want to take you through the shop links next. So that was the social media. We'll go to shop links. Shop links are found through the cart at the bottom of the biblet. Publishers can choose their own shop links and even customize for each version of the book. So you might have a different set of retailers for audio, a different set of retailers for ebooks. They all can have their own links, and it's completely at the publisher's discretion. This is what the shop link cart looks like. Now, this is for the Chain Gang All-Stars book. They have a hardcover, a paperback, two versions of a paperback, an EPUB audio, and two different versions of the audio. So that's their formats. It all is in this one biblet. And then down here at the bottom, it's where you choose to have your retailers. So they have Penguin Random House here, Bookshop, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, IndieBound, Powell's, and you can see the rest here. So those are the retailers that the publisher has chosen to put in their shop links, but you can choose whatever you like. So back to the main biblet feature, we're going to go to the top where many more of the features can be added. So reviews, Book2Look as a company will find the whitelist reviews of your books. So any review that you would like to see on your book that you would like us to add, you can simply send us a website or let us know. We don't include other retailer reviews. So you won't see an Amazon or Goodreads or a Barnes & Noble review on here because many times we are in consideration of not sending traffic to other retailers, especially in light of our shop links and the way they work on the publisher's site. But the whitelist reviews is something that we get from online. So they are shown here with all of the links that Chain Gang All-Stars has a number of fantastic reviews. So you can go and click on reviews. As you click over here, you would click on reviews, they would come up, and then you would choose which review you would want to look at. There's another feature on Book2Look, and I do apologize. There are a lot of features on Book2Look, and I sometimes go through them pretty quickly because I am really eat, drinking, and sleeping Book2Look, but I know this might be new for you, so I will try to pull back my enthusiasm and slow down a little bit. So another feature of Book2Look is finding similar titles. So sorted by category, we can add this feature, and these are books that are similar to the title of the same publisher. So if you wanted to click over here and see similar books, these are books that Random House has selected that perhaps readers might enjoy as much as they like Chain Gang All-Stars. Anytime you can do book recommendations on a page that has books on it, I think is a great thing to do. Recommendations are really what sells books. So this is a great way to do that. For your purposes, you would need to know that this would not include books from other publishers. This would just be what you have on your site for your books. So it wouldn't send off to another publisher. So there is also the ability to add interviews, like an audio interview, maybe a podcast, or an actual video of an interview. And that would also pop up in a light box within the biblet. And here's an example. I won't play it for you because it will take probably a lot of bandwidth to do that. This is the author of Chain Gang All-Stars and a video that he did on YouTube. So it's really a great way to continue the promotion for Book2Look and really add your own DNA onto the product. So I wanted to share some of the experiences that our publishers have had with Book2Look. The Warbler Press, which is a smaller press, has told us that after creating and posting biblets for her entire list, her sales have increased 10% in the first month. Hopkins Press. So I talked about the publisher version of Book2Look. So HarperCollins, if you're looking at the HarperCollins site, we've done their biblets for them. The Hopkins Press came to us early in our in the year last year and said they really wanted to have this functionality on the site. They felt it was really important for their shoppers to be able to sample the books first. So since integrating this functionality at JHU, they've seen a remarkable surge of 350% in the duration spent on our book pages. This innovative feature has not only enhanced our website, it's also a huge win for our customers. The research shows that time spent with the biblets usually result in books sold. So it really makes sense intuitively as well that people will want to sample a book before they purchase, read a few pages, and this certainly bears out that fact. So Hopkins has been extremely happy with Book2Look. And again, they're a perfect example of a publisher page. So I'm going to show you a page that is near and dear to my heart. It's called Honest Aging. It might resemble my life story right now, but that's another presentation entirely. So Honest Aging is a Johns Hopkins book. It has been in really the top 5 of biblets for quite some time. It's not what you might think would be a super sampled book. But it has been just so successful on the Book2Look program. And this is a view of what the Johns Hopkins integration looks like. The cover is here, and they decided to use the look inside button below in a deep blue. We have lots of different ways to integrate the button. It's almost always a button underneath the books. Other publishers or retailers might choose to put it in other places, but this is what has been so successful to Johns Hopkins and their success with Book2Look. As far as, so that takes care of what we call the publisher side of it, the publisher version. There certainly are more other aspects of the publisher version that we can get deeper into. For the purpose of today and not giving you so much information at one time, I wanted to just give you a top view of the program. But the retailer part of it is really one of the major parts of this program. So in 2023, we were very happy to partner with bookshop.org. They were our first retail partner. We believe in their mission of creating a digital platform for independent bookstores. Independent bookstores and independent publishers often go hand to hand. We found that this was a great place for us to begin the relationship, opening up really hundreds of storefronts with Book2Look and the ability to sample books. Andy Hunter, who is the CEO of bookshop.org, has told us that books with biblets are 3 times more likely to be purchased and have a 35% cart increase. So we were really happy to get that anecdotal information from him to really find out what's happening with our biblets. Books with our biblets are also time well spent, I will say. People spend anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes looking at our biblets, which I think that, in internet time is really a very lengthy amount of time. So the longer they engage with the biblets, really the more likely they are to purchase. This is just a look at what the bookshop page looks like. They've chosen to put their button below, and it's here at the look inside. And as I said, they're really happy with their integration. We've been on Bookshop for about a year now. They were our first retailer. We just added last month, Books-A-Million added our integration onto their e-tail sites, and we were really, really pleased with their interest in the program, and they have added the look inside button down here. This is another iteration of what we can do with a look inside button for a retailer. I did mention earlier the analytics, which is a beautiful publisher dashboard. Publishers are really longing to be able to find metrics and data on the books and on the readers that are viewing them. We are able to really pull a very substantial amount of information about the biblets through our program. History of Books was an early adopter for us. And what Kurt told us from Histria is the analytics component of the product is easy to access through a publisher dashboard, which provides key metrics like page views, click-throughs, and time spent in biblets. Thank you, Kurt. So you can find a variety of metrics. I've mentioned before, how much time are the readers spending with the biblets? the top 5 biblets in your publisher admin account, where they're being shared. So where they're going from once they look at them from Bookshop, are they being shared other places? We provide a listing of the retailers and views. I'm going to show you a sample of one. And publishers can pull reports and isolate timeframes, which is great. So if you wanted to see how long a book is been viewed, and also where and to what extent, you can do all of these kinds of reports. This publisher dashboard looks a little complicated. I've mentioned everything so far that you can see, but I'll just take you through the top line here. So what you have on the top is the number of biblets you have. This is the geographical, not geographical, what's the right word for that? Topographical, graphical. It's just graphical. This is the graph of the ISBNs and its views. And then you have time spent on views. There's the top 5 views. The really exciting and interesting part of this is the top 10 embed sites. So bookshop.org is generally the top 10, one of the top, because they automatically get the biblet. But what you can look at between the top 10 embed sites and the top 10 community sites is there's usually a large difference, and it's showing you where they're shared. So social media sites like Facebook are embeds too, and this gives you the feedback on how often books are shared. So this is a really important statistic for you as you look at your publisher analytics, which you can access as often as you like. So this is just a sampling of our program. We offer support through emails and webinars. We generally do a webinar at 11 a.m. on Wednesday weekly, where the owner of the company will take you through all of the various bells and whistles that Book2Look offers, because there are a great many, some that I have not been able to cover today, and you might have very specific questions, and he'll take you through any kind of tech-related questions. We offer support through emails, and you should just know we're going to be continuing to add retailers. We're working very close with the indie commerce sites, and that would open up probably hundreds of more bookstore, online independent bookstore sites. So I talked a little bit about myidentifiers.com. That's really the one-stop shop for our self-publishing folks. And some of the publishing services that we're offering there, which may make sense for self-publishers, small publishers, and independent publishers, are author homepage, a company called S4 Carlisle, and a company called DigiWrites. So I'll just take you briefly through those, and we'll go from there. Author homepage provides a beautifully designed homepage where authors can showcase their work and sell books. It's also a great place to embed Book2Look. Here's an example up top of best-selling author Andrea Kane's books. It's available on desktop and mobile. The creator of author homepage is a very dynamic and wonderful design person who often will do webinars to show you how to get started, how to personalize your website, how to add content. This is all available through myidentifiers.com, and you can sign up for a webinar there as well. And the owner of the company will take you through a very comprehensive webinar. It's really, again, you know, a must-have for authors as they show their work online. We've also partnered with a fantastic company called S4 Carlisle Publishing Services. They have been doing a great deal of work in the academic and scholastic market. We've partnered with them to offer cover design, editing and proofreading, ebook conversion, and now translation, which has become very popular. They combine beautiful project management with very high-tech tools, and it's all managed by a really great project director. So as I like to say, with a lot of the products we have at Bowker, it's a highly automated process that we hold your hand through. Copywriting is become copyright copywriting, has become very important. As we move into a world of AI and tech, people are more concerned with protecting their copyrights, registering a copyright, and preventing registration mistakes. We offer a partnership with a company called DigiRights that really creates the bridge between the creator and the Copyright Office, enabling them to receive help when filling out the paperwork, and registering the copyright. And again, answering any questions they have. And our agency is standing by constantly, from 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, and always on email, to answer any questions. And a lot of questions do come up with copyright, given what's happening in the world with copyright protection. I am always looking for ways to help you. If there's a product that you want to see that you do not see, let me know. And we can look at it together and perhaps find some solutions that are not there. So my door is always open. Okay, I'm going to provide answers, I hope, to whatever questions you might have.
Well, first off, thanks so much, Mary. Appreciate you for walking us through that. It's an interesting new service that you all have, so I'm glad our members get access to it. And just to point out, again, IBPA members get a 15% discount, 15% on pretty much everything on the myidentifiers.com page. So the ISBNs, the Book2Look, and a bunch of other options. So make sure I put in the chat the link, and what you do to access that is you go to that page, and you will see at the bottom of the page, this is how do you access the benefit. When you click on there, it'll take you to the members only page, which is this is, by the way, the pathway for all member benefits. This is how you access them. And on the members only page is where there is a discount code. So if you go then to the Bowker website, myidentifiers.com, when you buy the products, you put it into the promo code place, and you will get a 15% discount. So that's how you access it. Okay, so some of the questions, Mary, are about, you said there's an 11 a.m. webinar.
Yes.
People are
Yes.
wondering, well, how do they go to that? How do they sign up?
There is, I can put it in the chat, or you can put it in the chat. It's called, the email address is support@book2look.com. And you
So
can simply say, I would like to be in a webinar.
look dot. Okay,
Support
so
at
support
Book2Look.
at book2look.com. I just put that in the chat for everyone. So email them.
Yep, that's a great place to learn more and sign up for a webinar. For like really specific individual questions, you can always call our customer service.
Fantastic. Okay. And then someone is wondering, so IBPA has members who are in the US, but also international members, Canada, Australia, and all that. So, they don't use Bowker for like ISBNs. So they're wondering, for something like this, like Book2Look, like, can they still use that?
We can handle Australia and Canada. The UK is a different story. It really, I like to link it up with where your data is being served from, or where you're getting your ISBN. So if you have an existing relationship with Nielsen for data, that's where you should continue to work with, because they have the distributor agreement on Book2Look in the UK. Canada and Australia can come through me, or through, I'm not sure if it can come through my identifier site. I think it can come through my identifier site. Australia has its own agency. So I would want to know in particular which country is of concern.
Okay. And they just maybe email the support@book2look.com or something?
Yeah, or you can even email me directly, especially if it's a purchase of 20 or more. I can help you absolutely, because I have signed up Australian and Canadian small publishers.
Do you want to put your email in the chat then?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so some other questions are, they're wondering in terms of the setup for the Book2Look. For example, like, how does it get onto these retail sites? Like, how does the publisher actually go through the process of setting it up?
Yeah, so We can do it one or two ways. You can, if it's one title, you set it up manually. If you have an Ingram core source feed or an Onyx feed, you would send a group of titles to us that way. Once we receive that Onyx data, we would then take your titles, and it's EPUB formatted. There's all these different naming. I can show you the conventions and the naming. Once we receive the data, we create the biblet, we cut the biblet, we throw the rest of the book away, and the book is automatically populated on our retail sites and becomes what we call a live biblet.
Okay. And then how long does it stay up on these sites? Does it have to be?
Forever.
So
For
it doesn't
as long
have to
as
be
it's
renewed.
active, yeah. There are books, there are biblets that are active even when books are out of print. So they stay up as long as you want them to stay up. If you want to take them down, you take them down, but they're always active. There's not going to be a reason that they will be pulled down by us. It would really be a publisher decision to take them down.
Mm. And then you mentioned like Ingram and things. So does someone have to, I know like with Bookshop, like you have to have your book onto Ingram, like or Ingram Spark or Lighting Source to be able to get onto even Bookshop. So are there any requirements about where the book is located to be able to use a Book2Look?
Well, the publisher version is without limitation, so you can use that on your sites wherever you like. The bookshop relationship is one that is through Ingram, and that is like an inventory question more than anything else. If your book is carried on Ingram and available on Ingram, you can have a biblet on there. As far as getting it onto Bookshop, that's more of a retailer conversation that would be outside of the biblet conversation. But the publisher version, you can simply have anywhere you like. And set up your own retail shop links on your websites.
Okay. And is there any of the other various things that are on your website that are other possibilities for them? Did you want to talk about any of the other, maybe in more detail? I know there's, like you mentioned, like the ebook conversion.
Yep.
You also have like press release
Mhm.
creation. You all have like so many different possibilities.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you like, score it, all that stuff?
Sure. So myidentifiers.com, which I'll put in the chat right now, it does everything that a normal, thriving, traditional house would do. So we really take all the different kinds of companies that would create the publishing experience. So I mentioned copyright protection. I mentioned through DigiRights. I mentioned author homepage. We have a company called Smith Publicity that will do press releases for you. We have a social media expert that will help you optimize your social media. We have a company called Score It that you mentioned that is an interesting product because it shows you who you write like. And with that information, it helps you to market your titles. So there's an analysis of that. We offer a wide variety of editorial and production, from ebook conversion to actual content editing, to line editing, to cover design, proofreading, all through a company called S4 Carlisle. They do translation as well. I mentioned them earlier. We have just about everything you could imagine, even ebook and audio distribution through an Italian company called StreetLib. We have a company called Story Rocket that, if you have the hopes and dreams to see your books on screen, it's kind of like an eHarmony for books. It creates a platform where you can showcase and pitch your work, and producers will come and find you, and you hopefully can get put together with people looking for content for TV and film. Smith Publicity, I mentioned, social media, I mentioned, author homepage is a fantastic one that I think most, if not all, should be utilizing in some format. There's just a host of products there, from publishing your book. Obviously, you get your ISBNs, your SAN codes, and all the things that you need to actually identify and sell your book. So there's the publishing aspect of it. And then there are many, many marketing programs like the ones that I mentioned that are open for IBPA benefit. So it's really a great place to kind of spend a little time and figure out what you need and at what point you need it.
Yeah, thanks for going through that. And something I do want to make sure we clarify. So, for example, Street Lib and then Ford Review's Clear and Review, technically, Bowker on their website does have some discounts in terms of the 15%. But IBPA works directly with Street Lib and Ford Reviews for Clear and Reviews, and we actually get a different and a bigger discount for members if you go directly through our website for these other
Sure.
companies. So obviously 15% is great. And so there's tons of, especially the ISBNs and then Book2Look that are exclusive to the Bowker site. I just want to make sure people, check as a member, you check all the member benefits. So you're making sure you're getting the biggest discount. So check those two out on our particular website, Ford Reviews, Clear and Review, and Street Lib. Okay, so someone has a question. They said, what are the website integration facilities? Is there an API, WordPress, WooCommerce plugin?
It's an API.
Okay. And then you had mentioned some of those different, Shopify and those. So that's set up separately through the publisher's website. You all only help them to connect to it through the Biblet, but you don't you don't set any of that up, right?
No, that would be all at the publisher's discretion.
Well, great. Well, that's looks like we don't have any more questions. So anybody who's watching this separately from this, we're grateful for you watching. Mary, thank you so much for walking us through it. If you're on the web page right now for the member benefit, make sure you go to the how to access the benefit at the bottom, and that way you can get the promo code and then go to myidentifiers.com and take advantage of all these benefits. Thanks for walking us through it, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Email me questions if you have them. I'm always here.